Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Miss Crochet and Coffee here, and today we are doing a whip and chat, so get out whatever it is you're working on and work along with me. As you know, I am still working on my DIY moon shop, the Where Stars Come from Jeremiah Morale. I want to say that's his name, but I'm pretty sure I'm butchering it, but you know who I'm talking about. So we're going to work on this, and we're going to talk about a few things. So get out whatever it is you're working on, coloring, cross stitching, beaded cross stitch, whatever, and work along with me. As you can see, I haven't gotten far because I took the weekend off. Now, I don't normally take the weekend off when I'm working on a project. I don't normally take off at all. But if you don't take off every once in a while to get your brain, I'm so glad I put all those drills in the container. Don't you love when you do that? Put all the drills in the container for 2 drills. Love it. All of it. Diamond painting, the best. Anyways, so I've been working on this since Friday. I started it Friday night with you guys. Well, after live Friday, I was so pumped. I had such a great live. Thank you to everybody who showed up. We had so much fun. It's always fun when I get in there and get to talk to you guys. And I'm trying to get a little bit better at reading comments and stuff. So I do apologize if I missed anybody. Again, there are a lot more of y'all than there is of me. So it's hard trying to keep up with everybody. But I think I do a pretty good job for the most part. I'm trying to put that drill that was stuck in my hand on there. So it was a pretty good night. And I was so pumped. You ever have one of those days where you're like, I'm going to stay up all night. I can stay up all night and craft. I'm so hyped. I'm so pumped. I have so much energy. And then 5 minutes later, all that energy that you just had is just gone. Just gone out of nowhere. And the next thing you know, you've never been so tired in your entire life. Well, usually what I do after lives is I will go back, put all my edits and stuff I need to put into the live, like if I need to add anything to the description box or what have you. And then I will go and re-watch the live in double speed. Again, like I said in live, if you've never watched a video in double speed, try doing it at least once this week. All you have to do is when you're in YouTube, if you are watching a video, and this is on your phone, tablet, what have you, go, because somebody did ask in live, and I didn't see it, so I do apologize. So hopefully the person is watching now, because I don't remember exactly who it was. But if you go to YouTube, at the bottom of the screen, you'll see a little gear on the right-hand side. If you click that gear, it'll have the setting for playback speed. It's the 3rd setting down, I believe. If you go to playback speed, click on that. It'll tell you the different speeds. You just go down to number 2, and it'll play that video in double speed. And I like watching my videos like that, because it's hilarious. If you've never seen me or heard me talk in double speed, it is freaking hilarious. There's a couple of other people I like to watch in double speed just because their voice sounds really funny in double speed. But I was talking about watching videos in double speed, and so I go back after my lives, I watch my videos in double speed, and I check the comment section, like I check the chat to make sure I didn't miss anything important, or if I need to message somebody and be like, hey, I saw you ask this question in chat. Here's my answer. I'm sorry I missed it, blah, blah, blah. You know, I'm trying to, keep up tabs on the peoples. If you got an important question, I don't want you to think that I'm ignoring you. So I try to find and make sure that everybody's cool during chat. So I'm sitting there and I'm going through chat and I'm just like, oh, I'm so hyped. I'm like diamond painting and looking over and diamond painting and looking over and diamond painting and looking over and diamond painting and dozing. And I'm like, what just happened? I just had all this energy. What happened to all my energy? Yo, it was 12 something my time. And it was like 11 something when I got off. And then at 12, I told the kids, it's time for bed. I let them stay up a little bit later than I normally do, but I'm like, it's Friday. We ain't going nowhere. We ain't doing nothing. We are relaxing this weekend. This was a lazy weekend for us because we didn't have anything to do. So I'm like, we are going to relax in this house, do nothing, and enjoy ourselves. So everybody was like, yay, we get to stay up. Well, Maggie lasted 10 minutes. Orion lasted 30 minutes. And I'm sitting there at 12:30 nodding. Now, Mr. Coffee, he's just like, la, 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 la. Because at this point, he's already drank his energy drink because he has to drink energy drinks, especially with him working morning shifts. He drank energy drinks to stay awake so that he can, stay awake for live. So he's just over there in his own little world, la, 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 working on my game and doing stuff. And I'm sitting over here like dozing. And I'm like, what just happened? Oh my God, I'm so tired. And like, I'm at the point where I'm looking with one eye because apparently that's good enough whenever you're tired. So I'm like, okay, all right, I can't fight it anymore. I will rewatch this in the morning. I am exhausted. So I looked at Mr. Coffee. I'm like, look, I love you, but I got to go to sleep. I'm tired. And he goes, already? I'm like, yeah, I don't know what happened, but I am exhausted. So he was like, all right. He goes, did you want me to come to bed with you? I'm like, you can stay up. You can come to bed. I don't care at this point because I'm pretty sure I'm going to hit that bed and go to sleep. Well, I sit back on the couch and I fall asleep again. I wake up 10 minutes later and I'm like, okay, now I'm really going to bed. And I sit back and I go back to sleep again. He nudges me 2 hours later and he's like, hey, you going to bed? Yeah, I told you I was going to bed. And he goes, well, you didn't move. And I'm like, what? I look around. I never got off the couch. I was like, carry me. And he's like, oh, come on, you can come to bed. Now, I don't usually make Mr. Coffee carry me to bed just because his back is, now that his back is as bad as it is, I don't want him lifting heavy things. And I'm only like 40 pounds away from his weight. Like, usually we're the same weight, but he's gotten a little bit heavier than me. Don't tell him I said that because God knows he'll have a conniption fit. But he's gotten a little bit heavier than me, which he's a guy. He's supposed to be bigger than me. We're not supposed to be the same size. We've been the same weight our entire marriage up until the last 5 years. So I'm just like, you got this. Like, you're good. You're good. So he helps me up off the couch. I go check on the kids because our nightly routine is I go check on the kids while he gets the kitchen finished straightening up and everything. And then he goes and checks on the kids while I start the dishwasher and get the dog settled. And then I go into the room, go to the bathroom, put on my pajamas and go to bed. I got as far as checking on the kids. I sat on Maggie's bed because she had something weird on TV. I don't know about anybody else's kids, but Maggie apparently relaxes to ASMR eating videos. Now, I hate them so much because I can't stand that smacking noise in my ear. But Maggie loves them. So she will put one on. Let's see what this symbol is. It's an S. She will put one on when she goes to bed. And I'm like, I don't know how she listens to this crap. I can't stand it. I sat down and started dozing. Like, that's how tired I was. And I'm just like, okay, get yourself together. You got to make it to bed at least. Come on, you're being pitiful right now. Like, you're not that tired. And I'm thinking, what did I do that I'm so freaking tired? I did nothing. That's what I did. I did absolutely nothing. So I'm just like, I should not be this tired. This is a travesty. Like, something is wrong. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go to bed. So I got up. And I'm pretty sure I had been in her room for a good, I don't know, probably like 10 minutes. And I was like, I need to go to bed. So I get myself up and I go to bed. And I'm trying out some new wax right now. I will tell you guys all about it in What You Got Wednesday. I got a couple of new things from some people that are starting little wax companies. And they wanted me to try out their stuff. So I'm trying 2 different types of wax right now. So if you see like this wax here in this bag, it's ruby grapefruit. It smells delicious. I cut it when I was trying to cut the bag open. And then you'll see this. It's called a Pretty Placer. And it is a diamond painting wax crayon. So you'll see these 2 things. And I'll explain more about them in What You Got Wednesday. Sorry, the guy's outside cutting the grass. But yeah, so I'm sitting there. And I'm opening up a new section. Oh, let me struggle and get this open quick. Okay, now I'm done struggling. So I pick myself up and I go in the room and I just kind of, you ever go in your room and just face plant on the bed? I face planted on the bed. I ended up kicking Killian in the face because he was right behind me and I didn't realize it. And I ended up kicking him in the face, to which I like scoot over and I'm like, oh, Killian, I'm so sorry. Mommy's so sorry. She didn't mean to hit you. But meanwhile, he's giving me this look like, chick, I got you. Don't worry about it. So I go to bed. It's like 3 in the morning. And I just feel like something jump beside me. And I thought it was Mr. Coffee. Because you ever been asleep and you jerk in your sleep? Yeah, I thought it was Mr. Coffee. Because Mr. Coffee does this thing that drives me absolutely insane. I don't know if anybody else's spouse or they do, or if you do this. When they're asleep, Mr. Coffee puts his leg up. And then we spend 20 to 30 minutes with him jerking his leg back up. Because he'll fall asleep. Oh, let me straighten you guys out here. He'll fall asleep with his leg up, and it's kind of arched like this, and then he'll do this for about 20 to 30 minutes. And don't worry about that. That's getting a little cyst. We ain't gonna worry about it. So he just, and the entire time he's jerking in his sleep. And what I like to do is I like to put my toes on his Achilles tendon and then push his foot down because I can't stand that jerking. And I'm like, I can't sleep if you're jerking your foot like that in your sleep. And he's like, stop, I'm comfortable. And I'm like, I'm not comfortable. I can't sleep like this. So that's what I thought it was. Here, Killian had decided no, the blanket on the floor that he usually lays on wasn't good enough. He decided to come sleep on top of me. And I was so tired, I didn't even bother moving him. When I woke up at 10 o'clock the next morning, this dog was still laying on top of me, and he was licking my face. And Killian never does this, okay? Never. Mr. Coffee rolls over, and he's like, I guess he was trying to snuggle with me. And he feels Killian, and all snuggling went out the window. He's like, oh, look at the cute little puppy. Didn't remember that I was underneath this cute little puppy. I'm like wondering why it's been hard to breathe all night. And here it's because the freaking dog was laying on my chest all night, and I couldn't breathe. And of course, my inhaler, I keep out here in the living room, because whenever I go walk the dogs or something, I take it with me just in case, because sometimes, okay, sorry about that. Maggie needed something. But meanwhile, I'm laying in bed. This dog is on top of me. I keep my inhaler out here in the living room just because of the fact that if I go walking the dogs or something, just in case I need it, I'll take it with me. And so he's playing with the dog, doesn't question why this dog is on our bed, especially during shedding season. I do not allow the dogs on the bed during shedding season because, as you guys know, I do a lot of unboxings in the room, and I don't want dog hair all over my bed when I'm trying to unbox, especially not a Diamond Art Club, because with that velvety back, I do not want it covered in dog fur. I'm one of these days, I'm going to do a diamond painting, and it's just the back of it is just going to be covered in Killian fur, and it's just going to look like another Killian. Like, I wonder if Diamond Art Club could do a picture of a husky. Asking for myself. Either way. Mr. Coffee is sitting here playing with Killian. Meanwhile, Killian is on top of me, suffocating me to death. And I was too tired that night to get him off of me. So I just let him sit there. Like, at this point, I'm like, in my sleep, I'm like, if you're a murderer, just murder me while I'm sleeping. Just don't wake me up, because I'm tired. So, you ever been so tired that you didn't care if you got murdered in your sleep? Yeah, that was me that night. Also, one of the things that Maggie does. Maggie has this thing where she likes to, now, if you sleep with your room door open, you aren't scared of anything. But if you sleep with your closet door open, now I don't have a closet door, because when you go into my bedroom, you walk through and there's like a little hallway area, kind of like, I don't know, it's not that huge, but that's where my closet is. So there's no door to it, and it just walks straight into the bathroom. Maggie has an actual walk-in closet in her room, and she likes to sleep with it open. Now, let me just tell you this. If you are somebody that sleeps with your closet door open, which, does anybody sleep with their closet door open? Because you are a true gangster. You don't care about nothing, okay? I am fearful of you. Because I cannot, you know how many boogeyman stories run through my head every time I walk in her room, and I'm like, I'm going to see a ghost or something in her closet, freak out, pee and poop my pants, and then the ghost is just going to laugh at me because I wet myself because I'm an adult and I'm not supposed to be scared of these things. But then I remember Maggie said that she is the ghost in the dark, and I was like, yeah, you're probably right. So I was just like, okay, I'm laying in bed, and I move Killian over enough while Mr. Coffee is playing with him, apparently, to show him my face, and I'm like, good morning. Could you get the dog off me? And he's like, oh my God, what's wrong with your face? Now, one thing, if you're a man and you're watching this, one thing you do not want to say to your wife is, oh my God, what's wrong with your face, okay? Not only is that rude, one, because I just woke up, so I look like the goddamn Loch Ness monster. You just don't say that kind of stuff to women, okay? I'm looking at him, I'm like, what are you talking about? That's kind of rude, don't you think? And he's like, hun, your face is covered in fur. Y'all, I look like Bigfoot is what I look like. Those pictures they show you of Bigfoot where just his eyes and his mouth are showing, and the rest of you is just covered, like the rest of him is covered in fur. That's what I looked like. Like, there was hair all over my face, and the only part of my face that didn't have fur was my mouth and eyes. Probably because I was sleeping, and for once, I might have had my mouth closed. Hopefully I did, because if not, I probably have a big old dog fur pile right in my throat right now. So, I get Mr. Coffee to get him off of me. Killian gets off of me. And you know how when dogs go to the bathroom, I don't know about anybody else's dogs, but when my dogs go to the bathroom, they think they're cats, so they kick up the grass when they're outside, because that's where they go to the bathroom. He did that as he got off the bed, and then farted and got off the bed. So for those wondering if Killian has ever gotten his revenge, I'm pretty sure he just got it. Yeah. So that was, you know, Saturday morning. And then Saturday, I talked to the ladies for a bit while I did some cross stitching. I am working on the inclusion SAL with Rachel Ray and a couple of other cross stitchers, just to bring awareness, to bring more diversity to cross stitch, because there aren't a lot of cross stitch patterns that look like me. And that's one of the reasons why I don't do a lot of cross stitching, is because there's not a lot of them that look like me. And where I could easily just go and change the skin tone of, say, like a memorabilia or something, I shouldn't have to. Like, I want to be included in things too. Like, a lot of the craft supplies aren't diverse, and that's what they're trying to bring awareness to. And I know a lot of people would be like, you know, why does it have to be about race and all this? But I'm like, that's the thing. This shouldn't be an issue. Like, I don't understand why, you know, this is an issue, but it is. Like, there's not a whole lot of race when it comes to, like, doing crafting. So, like, I tend to enhance things to make it look more like me, and I shouldn't have to do that. So that's what this SAL is about. It's about bringing diversity to cross-stitch patterns and crafting in general. So, like, I'm participating in that with her, and I'm working on a design by X Stitcher over on Instagram. She is amazing. I absolutely love her. I have talked to her literally 1 or 2 times, and all I did was ask her, could she make a pattern for me? And I don't care if she sold the pattern or whatnot. I just wanted to see if she could make the pattern. And she did. And all it is the Black Lives Matter fist, and it says all lives can't matter until Black Lives Matter. And that's something that I've been preaching on my personal page for the longest time, is that quote. So I wanted to see if she could make that pattern, because I couldn't find, like, Rachel Ray found a sisterhood pattern, and it's absolutely beautiful. I love it. And I was going to do that one and change the color of the nail polish, but I was like, I don't want to do the same one as Rachel. I want to find a different one. I couldn't find a different one. Unless you want to do traditional African art, there was no different ones. There was no modern African art in the cross-stitching patterns I was looking for. So I chose the pattern that was made for me, and I was like, I will do this pattern for the SAL. And she was like, that's fine, you know, it still brings awareness, whatever, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, cool. So I worked on that on Saturday, and I had to redo it because when I cross-stitched it, I did it off center. So, yeah. But I will show you guys that at a later time, primarily because I'm too lazy to get up and go get it. So, yeah. Anyways, so I talked to the ladies on Saturday for a bit, and I made a nice little dinner for the family, and we sat down and watched a little bit of a movie. The kids went to bed on time on Saturday just because they were so exhausted because they didn't get much sleep Friday night. So they went to bed at their normal time, and then me and Mr. Coffee stayed up, and we've been doing a lot more staying up and talking. And me and Mr. Coffee don't usually, like, have those deep conversations, but we've been having a couple of deep conversations that, you know, we've been staying up to talk to each other about, and it's been actually pretty nice. Like, me and Mr. Coffee, we talk, but not, like, politics and stuff like that, because, of course, you know, not only do I not do politics on my channel or in my Facebook group, but I also don't do it at home, because sometimes me and Mr. Coffee disagree, and I'm not going to sit there and argue with my husband over politics. I'm not doing it. So I don't usually talk about it, and we were talking about stuff this weekend and just having a nice conversation, and I'm like, I can't remember the last time we stayed up all night like this and, you know, just talked. And he was like, yeah, it was kind of nice. You're not all crazy at night. And I'm like, you know what? Other things you don't say to your spouse. You're not all crazy. Look, listen, you signed up for the crazy. You've been dealing with the crazy for the last almost 11 years. You got this. Like, I give him kudos because he has dealt with this crazy for 11 years. It takes a strong man to deal with someone as big-headed and bullheaded and opinionated as I am. So I give him mad props, because anybody that's been married for any amount of time knows it takes a strong person to be married, because marriage is definitely a commitment. It's something you have to work at all the time, and we've had our ups and downs. We've been through it all, but at the end, we're still here. We're still standing and still strong. So I love him for the fact that he can deal with the crazy. He's one of the few people I've ever met that could actually get me to shut up, like when I'm talking and he wants to get a word in edgewise and I won't stop talking. He'll just look at me and be like, shut up and let me talk. Mr. Coffee usually isn't really mean or anything when we fuss, but he will, like, be stern with me because he knows if he's not, I'll just walk all over him. It's not like I do it on purpose, but, you know, it's a thing. It happens sometimes. Anyways, so then Sunday came, and I'm like, okay, it's Father's Day. It was Mr. Coffee's first day back at work. He did have to work on Father's Day, but he was home by like 4 p.m. or no, he was home by 5:30. 5:30. He was home by 5:30. And I was like, well, I got dinner in the oven because I was making him a pork roast. Made a pork roast, and I made collard greens, black-eyed peas, cornbread, you know, the fixings for, you know, Father's Day. I talked to my dad for a little bit. I got my dad some stuff. Also, real quick, if you miss live and you don't watch replays, which, you know, I don't blame you. Some people don't watch replays. I made a mistake. My stroke brain makes me forget things a lot. For those of you who don't know, yeah, I had a stroke a couple months back. Don't worry about it. I'm cool. The only thing I can tell that's been really affected is my short-term memory. But my stroke brain made me think that that the day that I posted a happy birthday message to my dad was his birthday. No. My dad's birthday is June 19th, not 18th. And so when I put the happy birthday message up the next morning, he's like, I kept wondering why I kept getting all these happy birthday messages. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, you do know that today is Thursday, right? I'm sorry, say what? He goes, it's Thursday. No, it's not. He goes, yes, it is. Go look at your calendar. Look at the calendar. Now, again, when you're in the house and you rarely ever leave, today is yellow. Okay, that's what today's date is. Today's date is yellow. What month is it? One of the J ones, the date is yellow. We're in 2020. That's all I know. 2020 refuses to give me a refund on my 90-day subscription, so now I'm in for the long haul. I'm not happy about it, but we got to deal with it, okay? We all got to do things we don't like to do. Either way. So that day, I was just like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. You know, my brain, I can't help it. You know, at least, if nothing else, we're just going to celebrate your birthday all weekend. Which made me feel a little bit better because his gifts weren't due to get to him until Friday. So I was like, well, then this all works out then. So he got his little gifts. I got him, from the kids, he got new seatbelt covers for his seatbelts in his truck. They are Alabama seatbelt covers because if you don't know, my dad's a huge Alabama fan, Roll Tide. And he's actually getting ready to move there. So Papa will be moving there within the next week or two. I think they move next week actually. So he sold his house and him and my mom are moving to Alabama. They just had a house built. And so where I'm sad to see that they're leaving Pennsylvania because Minna's still there. I think that, you know, because both my parents are retired now. They're retired. All the kids are out of the house. They took my sister's kids back to her, and they're kid free, so they're ready to start enjoying their retirement ages, which I think they should have been doing for a while now. But you know, that's neither here nor there. And so we got Papa seatbelt covers for his truck, and then what else did we get him? Oh, a picture frame. Now there was this picture that my dad took on his birthday. I want to say 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. He bought all my kids Alabama shirts. They all had an Alabama shirt. And which is funny because Maggie can still fit hers. Maggie's so tiny, y'all. She looks like a piece of spaghetti noodle. She's so little. Apparently she has a really high metabolism, according to the doctor. And so because she eats like a horse, but gains no weight. And they say it's just because she burns it off so quickly. So she has the same, like Mr. Coffee has that same problem, except for he's hypoglycemic. So it's the opposite of diabetes is what I know. So you make too much sugar. So like he can go into sugar shock. And when he does go into sugar shock, he needs something sweet to bring him out of it, like a piece of candy or something. He usually keeps a jug of tea with him to bring him out of it. Which I've heard people say that they use peanut butter and whatnot. And I'm not sure how peanut butter is sweet enough to get you out of sugar shock or anything like that. But I'm not going to put a big heaping pile of peanut butter in somebody's mouth because that could choke them to death. But I usually use candy. It's only ever happened once where he's gone into shock and I've had to kind of figure out how to do this. And at that point, I had never heard of hyperglycemia, so I didn't know what to do. So I gave him a pixie stick. That seemed to bring him back to it. I think it was like around Halloween or something. And some reason I had a pixie stick in my car because it happened on my way home from getting him from, we went to Harrisburg on a trip one day when we lived in Lewistown. And it happened on the way home and I got him a pixie stick and he was just fine. So, yeah, so Maggie's just she's just teeny tiny. And my parents had bought the kids these Alabama shirts. So the kids, if I remember, I will put the picture in. So it's my mom, my dad, and my 3 kids, and they're all in their Alabama gear. So the other thing we got him for his birthday was a picture frame. But the picture frame has an Alabama jersey around it. So it's Alabama because he's moving to Alabama. So everything he's going to have is going to be Alabama. So I got him the frame with Alabama on it. He absolutely loved his gifts. And I told him, I'm like, you have one more gift coming for Father's Day. Because again, my dad and my mom both have birthdays that are close to Mother's Day and Father's Day. My mom's birthday was last month. This month was my dad's birthday. And then next month is Minna's birthday, which I'll talk about that in a few minutes. So for Pawpaw's birthday, for Father's Day for Pawpaw, I got him a sign because I don't remember if he said that his new house is supposed to have a man cave or not. I'm pretty sure I'll get the grand tour as soon as they get there, but I don't remember if it's supposed to have a man cave or not. But I got him a sign for his man cave that just says that he owns the remote and only Alabama colors are to be worn down in the man cave and what happens in the man cave. Because when I went down there, I realized he doesn't have any signs that show that he has a man cave. Because down in Pennsylvania, where they live now, he has his legit man cave. It has his bedroom in it. He has a bedroom in it, his own bathroom, washer and dryer, TV place. Like, it's a nice size area. It's like another house under the house that he lives in. So, like, the only thing it doesn't have is a kitchen. So he has to go up the stairs to go to the kitchen. But he has a nice, decent sized space for his man cave. So I didn't know if his new house had a man cave or not because he said that the new house, I guess this is the thing when you retire that you don't get a house with stairs because of your knees. Now, both my parents, between the two of them, they got one good set of legs. Both parents have had one knee replaced. They both need the other knees replaced, which they will, I'm guessing, get done when they're down in Alabama. Because I'm not sure why you would get one replaced when the other one needs replaced too. So I'm guessing they'll both get it done when they're down in Alabama. And I don't think his new house has stairs, so I don't know if he has a man cave or not. He says he does have a craft room, but it's also going to be the spare bedroom. So I was like, well, if nothing else, I don't see you having a whole lot of guests. So, like, because Pawpaw's kind of like me in that aspect where I guess I get it from him, where I'm not a big fan of having a bunch of people in my house. They always break something. Like, something always breaks. And I remember back in the 80s and 90s, you watch movies about people having house parties, and the toilet would always break. Does anybody remember that? Like, the movie, what was it, Kid and Play? And the guy Play had a party at his house, and somebody broke his toilet. That seems to be the theme of house parties. So I'm like, I don't want people in my house. I don't have money to have parties in my house and have people in here breaking stuff. One, because I don't own this place. I rent the place that I'm living in now. But two, I just don't like that many people in my house. It's just, I don't know. I'm a weird person. I like being alone. Or with my family, I should say. So, anyways, but he got a new sign for his man cave. So if he has a craft room or whatever in his new place, he has a new sign for it. So I thought that was awesome. He really liked it. He was like freaking out about it. I thought it was funny. Minna's birthday is next month. She will be leaving Pennsylvania to come up here the day after her birthday. We just decided that Jordan's or Mr. Coffee's mom will be bringing Minna up. So we're going to give her gas money and Starbucks money. So for all the people that donated to live chat and said that they wanted the money to go to Minna for her Starbucks, I literally have been stockpiling that money onto a gift card. So right now she has about she has a couple of bucks to get her from Pennsylvania to North Dakota and have Starbucks every day the entire time they're riding, which is only going to be like a day and a half trip. But she has Starbucks money, and of course her grandmother has money too if she wants to spend her grandmother's money. But they will be making the trip because Mr. Coffee's mom wants to come visit, and her plan was to come visit for her birthday, but things got mixed up, and then the virus and all that, so she didn't get a chance to come out for her birthday, so she's going to try to come out now. And so she said, why don't you just let me go grab Minna? Because Minna is only 4 hours from her. Mr. Coffee's mom lives in Ohio, and then Minna lives in Pennsylvania. So she was like, I can just go run and grab her. I mean, she's only 4 hours away. I can make that trip in a day and then pick her up and bring her back to my house. We'll stay the night, and then we'll leave. So we have this plan devised for getting Minna up here, and then we're going to take her back. Mr. Coffee will go on another hitch before she goes back, but we're going to take her back at the end of the summer to go back to her dad's. But I wanted her to stay home for her birthday because her grandmother had something planned special for her birthday, And since they're usually so used to doing her birthday with her pap, which they haven't done for the last, I want to say 4 or 5 years, because he passed away a couple of years ago. They still like to do something special for the both of them on Minna's birthday. So, because her pap's birthday was July 4th, and then Minna's birthday is the 6th, so they would always celebrate it on the 5th. But this year they're gonna celebrate it on the 6th, and they have like a little party put together with her friends and everything. So she's excited about that, and I didn't want to mess up her birthday, because if you guys remember, last year for her birthday she was here. Now, I felt bad the last time she was here because we didn't get out and do much, because I didn't know the area as well, and there wasn't a whole lot to do. But this time we have a plan. We're going to take her out to the Badlands and let her see the buffalo and the prairie dogs and the killdeer and all the wild horses and everything like that. And then probably take her out to the rec center, because everything here is pretty much open. I think we have 40 active cases right now in my town, I think. That's what Mr. Coffee said the other day. I'm not 100% sure, but for the most part, everything here is back open. Of course, they have the precautions in place. We're being super careful still, because we do have a son with allergies. Orion had swallowed fluid when he was born, so he still has some issues with his lungs, like he gets respiratory infections and bronchitis in the winter. He hasn't since we moved here, but when we lived in Pennsylvania, for some reason, he was constantly sick. So I'm overly cautious when it comes to Orion. So that's one of the reasons why I don't leave the house as well, because I'm his primary caregiver, and I don't want to leave the house and risk bringing something home that could hurt him. So I tend to stay in the house. Plus, like this morning, he woke up and they started cutting the grass this morning. He woke up and his face looked like the guy, Will Smith from Hitch, when he had that shellfish allergy. That's what his face looked like this morning from them starting to cut the grass. And when I say starting, they were weed eating like the edges of the grass. And just that 20 minutes of them doing that before he woke up, his face had gotten all puffy, and I made him take his allergy pill. And I was like, "You feeling better now? You don't look like the Michelin Man anymore." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm feeling good." So yeah, there was that. And then for Father's Day, I was like, "All right, guys, we're gonna do something special for Daddy. Let's get everybody in the shower. Let's get everybody nice and good, smelling good and looking good. We're going to cook Daddy a nice dinner. You guys, I want you guys to make Daddy a birthday or a Father's Day card." Now, it never fails. Never fails. Now, I don't talk about Minna much on the channel, mostly because she doesn't live here. So I don't have a whole lot. Like, I talk to her on the phone and stuff, and I FaceTime her and whatever. But I try not to be like that parent that's got to be on the phone with her every second of the day, because I don't want to annoy the piss out of her, because I know I can be annoying, okay? Like, I can be super stage 5 clinger here. I know my personality. So I don't tend to message her and call her every day. So there are days where I don't talk to her, and then there's days where I do talk to her. So because I don't talk to her as often as I'm like around the little ones, I don't talk about Minna as much. So people tend to forget about Minna. But yeah, for those of you who don't know, I actually have 3 kids. And I feel so bad. And huge thank you to Dawn Marie, because Dawn Marie sent me a tin last week. And this is what the little tin looks like. If you remember, it has like, if you watched What You Got Wednesday that week, it has the little Hello Kitty and the Stitch. And then when you open it up, it had Mama Bear and the 2 baby bears. And Dawn Marie felt really bad that she forgot Minna and the baby bears, that she made Minna a whole nother package. And she didn't have to do that, but I appreciate the fact that she did. So you guys will see that also on What You Got Wednesday this week. What You Got Wednesday this week is going to be lit. I got to get Mr. Coffee to check the P.O. box. But yeah, matter of fact, I need to go to the mailbox. I was supposed to go today, but I woke up late. We'll talk about it. So I was like, let's get up. Let's get everybody in the shower, looking good, feeling good. You know, you guys draw something up for Daddy. Now, it never fails. One of the kids will forget to draw me, and then one of the kids will forget to draw Minna. This time, last Mother's Day, it was Orion forgot to draw Minna, and Maggie forgot to draw Daddy. And then for Father's Day, Maggie forgot to draw Mommy, and Orion forgot to draw, Maggie forgot to draw Minna, and then Orion forgot to draw me. And I'm just like, y'all know we're a family of 5. There's a whole sign on the wall that shows all of our names. Like, what are you doing? Because, like, right behind me, if you've ever seen me, like, whenever I had to restart a live or something, and you get that really uncomfortable close-up of my face, right behind me is a sign with our last name on it, and it has everybody's name on it. Now, Minna isn't a Tepper. Minna has a different last name, obviously, than the other kids, because her dad has a different last name. And so she's not a Tepper, but her name is on the sign. And we were going to edit it, but I was like, you know what? Don't even worry about it, because somebody made that for me. So I'm like, I'm not even worried about it. She don't care. And she doesn't. Minna doesn't really care. So we get the kids up, and they make cards for Daddy. And skis and motorcycles. They make cards for Daddy, and, you know, they're doing their thing. And Maggie decides that, you know, she wants to play first before she gets in the shower. And I'm thinking, okay, well, you got to hurry up because it's like 2 o'clock. Daddy comes home at 4. I don't want you guys getting in the shower when he's coming home. I want you guys to be out of the shower so you can present him with your cards and everything. And, you know, I just want him to have a good day because he worked all day and he had to get up at 4 a.m. And then he worked all day and then he didn't get home until, he didn't end up getting home until like 5:30. He ended up being late coming home because he had some stuff to do at work. So I was like, I want you guys in and out of the shower. So I decided, well, she's going to play for a little bit. I'm going to step into Cal Crafts Live because I try not to miss Cal's live on Sundays because she knows I'm always there. And if I'm not there, something is wrong. The last time I missed Cal's live is when I had my stroke. So I don't like making her worry. So I will always make it a point to at least pop my head into her live to let her know that I'm okay. So, and then if I can't make it, I usually try to send her a message and be like, hey, Cal, you know, I'm not going to make it tonight. I missed quite a few lives this weekend just because I was taking the time off of YouTube because sometimes you got to unplug, you know what I mean? So I think Rachel was talking about that when her whipping chats not too long ago. I like to unplug from YouTube every once in a while. And since I didn't have to put up a video or answer comments a whole lot, I still was hearting comments, but I wasn't like actively watching YouTube. So I decided I was going to pop into Cal's live quick and, just go say hi and see what everybody was up to and how everybody's weekend was going. And 1 minute I'm sitting here and Maggie, I hear her in there playing and she's laughing and giggling, having a good old time by herself. And I'm like, oh, she's so cute. The next thing I know, I see this rainbow something fly past me. Now remember, my right eye is the eye that was affected by my stroke. It's one of the permanent things I noticed that I don't have peripheral vision in my right eye. Not good peripheral vision anyway, it's blurry. Anyways, so I just see this rainbow colored something fly past me and it says, and all you hear is, I'm a happy unicorn. And I'm like, what the hell was that? Well, it was Maggie. And if you've been on my channel for a while, you would know what the Maggie Olympics is. You might have forgotten about it because I've stopped talking about it for a while. What the Maggie Olympics is when Maggie decides to get butt naked and run through the house because apparently that's what you do. So Maggie takes it upon herself to run through the house. And I made that part unsticky. Crap. I gotta clean that off. Maggie takes it upon herself to run through the house screaming that she's a happy unicorn. Because if you didn't know, Maggie got for Christmas, Maggie got a unicorn robe. And it's a rainbow colored unicorn robe. Because Maggie is all about unicorns and rainbows, okay? That's where the term unicorn farts and rainbows comes from. Because Maggie, whenever she would fart when she was in her unicorn robe, she goes, uh-oh, unicorn fart. And I'm like, okay, you're gross. So that's where the term unicorn farts and rainbows came from. It came from Maggie farting in her robe. So for those of you who were wondering where I got that term from, that's where I got the term from. Anyways, so I'm sitting there and I just see her run by and then I see her run by again. And I'm like, what the hell? And I'm like, Maggie, what are you doing? She goes, I'm ready for the shower. And I'm like, okay, Cal, Maggie Olympics. And Cal's been on my channel for a while, so she knows what Maggie Olympics means. She goes, okay, go. And I'm like, and I jump up off the couch. Maggie Olympics essentially is me chasing down Maggie and throwing her in the shower, because if you don't, she will just run around naked all day, because Maggie is one of these weird kids out here in these streets that likes to be naked. Now, I don't blame her. It's not scorchingly hot here, but we've been getting like 70-degree weather. And when you're used to -degree weather and then you get like 70 degrees, it gets a little bit warm. Now, we've only been in North Dakota for 2 years, but the kids have gotten accustomed to the weather because of them going to school. I'm still not accustomed to the weather because for the life of me, I'm Southern and I refuse to conform to the weather here. I refuse to do it. I'm not doing it. I don't care what anybody says. I refuse. I'm not doing it. Nope. We'll never get used to the weather here. So, but I do love it here. I do love it here, but I'm not gonna act like the weather is okay here. It's not. It's brutal. Like, it's bad. So, like, she's running through the house. I have the blinds open to the back window because I live in an apartment. So the door over that way is a sliding glass door, and so it's usually open. And all you see is her running through the house screaming, I'm a happy unicorn, I'm ready for a shower. And what I do is I usually run after her, grab her, take the robe off, and then turn the shower on and put her in the shower, and then she's fine. As soon as her feet hit the shower, she's fine. but you have to chase her to get her in there. Why? I don't know. This is a game we've been playing since Maggie could walk, okay? I don't know why this thing is a thing, but it's a thing. So I finally get her in the shower, and I get her washed up and everything, and, you know, Mr. Coffee comes home. We had a great night. He had a great Father's Day. For Father's Day, he decided he wanted a keyboard for his tablet. So I was like, you know, go ahead and get the keyboard then. Well, apparently they were out of the keyboard. So then he went with his second option, which was a game docking station for his controller. All right, cool. Well, they were out of that. So he had to settle for waiting. He's going to wait until later in the year to try to get one of the other, because everything right now is sold out. And with the mail being so wonky and everything, like, he didn't want to centrally pay for something and then have to wait months and then forget about it. So he was like, I'll just try to order it at a later time. And I was like, all right, cool. So we put that money away for him to be able to do that. So it was a pretty good weekend. He enjoyed his Father's Day. He ate until he passed out, just like I did. Like, you have me and him passed out here on the couch, and then the kids are like passed out at the dinner table over there. And it was just a good, wholesome family time. Like, that was like a hallmark moment, because we all kind of woke up at the same time, because we all got the itis, and we're all kind of waking up, and the kids wake up and they're like, can we have a snack? And I'm like, as soon as you finish your food, because they didn't finish all their food, so I had to make them eat all their food. So that was that. And then today was the first day of homeschooling for the week. Maggie is on her last week of summer school, so because summer school only lasts 3 weeks. So what was supposed to happen today was I was supposed to get up. I was supposed to take and get Maggie up, dressed, fed, hair done, room cleaned, because I like her room to be clean because it's video chat, and I don't want the people to think that Maggie is living in a pigsty, even though most of the part she is living in a pigsty. Maggie has begged me to put the dollhouse back in front of her dresser because she doesn't want to clean up her toys. This is the level of lazy my daughter is, and I'm proud of her for it. Don't judge me. So Maggie has gotten so lazy that she won't want to play with her toys, because if she doesn't play with them, then she won't mess up her room. Then she doesn't have to clean up her room. The end. And I'm like, okay. And she'll tell me she doesn't want to play with her toys. And then the next minute, I'll go looking for Maggie and can't find her. And here Maggie is in her closet playing with her toys. And she's like, I couldn't resist, Mommy. I just wanted to play with the toys. I'm like, well, you go ahead and play with your toys, honey. Just make sure you put them away. And she's like, put them away? Now, I have started making the kids clean their own rooms because they're 7 and 9. They should be able to clean their own rooms. At their ages, I was making dinner for 8 people, okay? So cleaning the room is the least that they can do to help a sister out, okay? So we also did deep clean the house, which I deep cleaned, and I made them clean their rooms as I got everything out and dusted and mopped and swept so that Mr. Coffee came home to a nice clean house, because the entire time he was home, I didn't clean crap. I don't clean in front of Mr. Coffee. I don't know if anybody else's spouse is like this. I can't clean in front of him because I feel like he's judging me. And one of my main rules is if you complain when I'm cleaning, I make you finish cleaning what I was cleaning. So if I wipe down the entertainment stand and he goes, oh, hey, hon, you missed a spot. All right, here you go. You do it. Don't tell me how to do my job, okay? Like, I have one job, or I have a couple of jobs. I got to keep these little tiny humans alive, and I got to keep the house clean. I think I do my job very well. Sometimes I slack off, but for the most part, my house is clean, okay? At any point in time, somebody can walk into my house, even if they're uninvited, and be like, oh, wow, her house is clean. But right now, it's getting to be a little bit cluttered because I'm being lazy and I haven't put stuff away. So I need to put all this stuff away before Minna and them get here, because I don't want Mr. Coffee's mom to come in and be like, oh, she's not much of a housekeeper, huh? Now, his mom's not judgy like that, but, you know, in my brain, she's judgy like that. So I'm like, I don't want her to come in and be like, oh my God, what's wrong with your house? Why is it so dirty? Also, his mom doesn't sound like that, but you know what I'm trying to get at. So yeah, so like, does anybody else get along with their mother-in-law? Like, asking for myself. When I first met Mr. Coffee's mom, we didn't get along the best. Like, we got along okay, but there was times where we didn't get along. Now, we get along just fine, and we'll be on the phone, like, whenever she calls, we'll be on the phone for, like, hours and stuff. So, it's really cool, and I'm excited for her and Minna to get here next month. We have all these cool things planned, because we're also taking his mom out to the Badlands, because she likes stuff like that. So, we're going to take all the family to the Badlands, and we're actually going to take my car, because I have enough room in my car to seat everybody, because I have third row seating in my SUV. So yeah, if you've ever seen a video, like if you're like my Patreons used to get vlogs of me driving around to go get the kids and stuff, and I would have the dogs in the back of the car. Well, if you actually take the dogs out the back of the car and lift the back seat up, because there's like a little handle that you can lift up in the back of the car, that if you lift it up, it will actually pull up the third row seating. So the third row seating is like a bench seat, and then in the second row seating are two, I don't think they're called bucket seats. I think they're called captain seats, because they each have their own armrest. And there is a middle seat. Now, there's two attachments to the middle part of my car. I can put in an attachment to put cup holders in, or I can put in an attachment to make that a whole bench seat. So right now, they have the whole bench seat in there to keep the dogs from coming back and forth, because if you're driving and see a gigantic Siberian Husky butt in your face while you're driving and then he farts, you don't want to get into a wreck. So, you know, I got to keep him contained in the back. And I have a cage that goes on the top of the seats, but I didn't feel like putting it up. So they ride in the back seat of the car, and they usually try to stay there until the kids get out of the car. So, yeah. Minna just messaged me. Apparently Dunkin' Donuts has started selling something like the Dragon Fruit Refresher, and she was going to do a taste test, as she called it. And she was letting me know that she did her taste test, and she was not impressed because Dunkin' Donuts was out of strawberry, so she had to get a peach. And I'm like, okay. Like, I don't know nothing about her drink. She's like a drinkologist at this point. So I'm like, I don't know nothing about her drinks. So, like, when she says this stuff to me, it's like when Mr. Coffee tried to tell me about his homework. And he will. I was listening to Mr. Coffee's live session with his teacher, because I don't know what I was doing. I was listening to his live session with his teacher, and she was going over variables for coding and all this. As she's saying it, my brain is shutting down. There's smoke coming out of my ears, and I'm drooling, because I have no clue what the hell she's talking about. And even though it's not for me, I can still hear it. And I'm not trying to be more understanding of what Mr. Coffee's doing. I know he knows what he's doing. But I just was being nosy, like I normally am when he does stuff on his computer. So I'm just like listening, and my brain is shutting down, and he's looking at me. He goes, are you drooling? Look, listen, my brain is shut down. I have no function over anything right now. And your teacher is like, wow. And he's just like, well, this is coding. And then he tries to go into this explanation, which makes my brain just fall straight out of my ear and like fart around on the floor. It's like sputtering like a car with no gas in it. And I'm just like, no, stop. Please don't. I can't. My brain, I can't do it. So he's tried he's trying to dumb it down for me, because I have no clue what the hell he's talking about. And it's just funny because like he'll start doing his schoolwork, and he'll turn out. I've seen him and caught him turning up his computer, and then he'll look over at me so that because he knows I'm listening to it. Now, all I hear is the Charlie Brown folks, like the womp, 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 womp. I don't hear him actually, like, what they're doing or whatever. Like, she'll say variable, and then she'll be like, the X component to the Y and Z, and, I no. See, even then, I just lost all the words in my mouth, because no. Also, if you notice, I changed my nails. I took off the daggers and put on regular nails. These are Coral Blossom, I believe. Or Coral Bloom, from All Dashing. Now, don't worry, I didn't give up on my color streak, because you know what you can do? You can actually put your color streak on top of these. Like, if you have short nails, you can put your color streak on top of these. Yes! I was also contacted by another lady that was in my live on Friday night. Hold on, I'm going to pause you while that goes by. Okay, he's almost gone. They're blowing all the grass from cutting grass off onto the side of this thing so that there's not a bunch of grass just sitting on the sidewalk. But I was contacted by a lady on Friday night asking me to try. She's a nail designer, and she designs nails that you can glue on or press on. And I'm like, well, I don't like the glue. I don't like the glue press-on nails because the glue always makes a mess, and that glue can be so bad for your nails, and I don't like the way the glue feels on my nails. I might see if she'll send me a set of both so I can see how both of them are. But yeah, I really like these ones a lot better, and I'll explain why. Y'all remember a while ago I did a whip and chat where I talked about Killian locking me in the shower? Let me explain. So, long story short, my dog locked me in the shower and I couldn't get out, and there was nobody home to help me, I don't believe. And so, it happened again on Sunday. So, Sunday, I'm sitting here, I was trying to set up to record Mindful Monday, and actually, it started Saturday. Let me go back to Saturday. So, Saturday night, after everybody, or Friday night, I'm sorry. Friday night, after I got everybody fell asleep, I tried to put Maggie to bed because she was like scrunched up at the bottom of her bed for some reason. because she's Maggie, and that's what she does. Well, she was scrunched up at the bottom of her bed, and I was just like, Maggie, why do you do this? So I went to go try to pick her up. And have you ever seen a forklift just dig into a car and then just pick it up and drop it off somewhere? That's what I was doing. I was trying to get underneath her, but I just kept poking her in the neck with the nails, and she kept like twitching, and I'm like, oh, sorry, Maggie. She's like, ow, mommy, your nails hurt. I'm like, oh my God, honey, I'm so sorry. Mommy's poking you like a shish kebab. I'm so sorry. So then Sunday when we go to get showers, I was like, all right, the kids had just gotten out of the shower, and once they get out of the shower, I will then get in my shower, because then they can play together while I'm in the shower, and I don't have to worry about anything. Well, I was wrong, because I don't know why Daisy does this. Well, I know why she does it. Dogs do this because they think they're protecting you from the dangers of the bathroom. I don't know what she thinks is about to happen in there, but Daisy is very fearful of me going to the bathroom by myself. So if she's not nose to nose with me in the bathroom, Daisy doesn't feel herself, and she will like start wigging out because she has to be right next to me. Like even right now, she's on the couch right next to me. So I don't know why she's so like, she's not being clingy, but in a way she is, because she's never away from me. And actually, here in a few minutes, I need to take them outside. So I'm sitting there, and I go to get ready to get in the shower. Now, I usually close my room door, but I'll crack my bathroom door. Just crack it so that the steam will kind of go out into the room, and it doesn't get all foggy in there. So, because, of course, I as Mr. Coffee says, I shower in lava, and Mr. Coffee can't take the hot water. Is anybody a scorching hot water shower taker here? Asking for myself. And he goes, why does the water have to be so hot? I'm like, because I need to wash away my sins. That's why. So, like, I turn the shower on. I'm getting ready to get in the shower. I comb my hair out, put my mask on my hair, because I have a hair mask that I put on because, you know, the afro, all that. So I put the hair mask on, and then I go to get in the shower. I hear the door creak open, and I'm thinking, okay, what is happening right now? Why is the door creaking open? Door creaks open, here comes Daisy. And I'm like, of course, I should have guessed that Daisy was going to find her way in here, because if I close the door, she will just unlock it, or not unlock it, she'll open it. And so I usually leave it cracked, not only to let the steam out, but to let Daisy in, because if you don't let her in, she will find her way in, okay? So she comes in, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, okay, all right, whatever. She lays down on the floor, usually like in the middle of the floor in the bathroom, and I'm just like, all right, whatever. Well, I'm sitting there trying to take a shower, and I hear something on the glass door, and it just goes, like, I have my eyes closed because I'm washing my hair, and I just hear something go bang. Now, it wasn't that loud. I might be exaggerating just a little bit, but it was loud enough that it scared the piss out of me, okay? I'm in the shower, eyes closed, and you just hear bang. Now, I don't know if anybody else has this unrealistic fear that because you're in the shower, you're going to get murdered because you're in the shower, and that's when you're at your most defenseless because you're naked with no weapons and you're just in the shower. So, yeah, I thought I was getting ready to get murdered. And I'm sitting there like, oh my God, this is it. I'm about to get murdered. Only thing I have in here is a razor, but I will shave someone to death, okay? I will shave you to death with that razor, okay? So I'm sitting there. I grabbed the razor, because this is one of those, like, you know, hair shaver things. And it's not even mine. It's Mr. Coffee. He likes to shave in the shower because it doesn't bring all his little mustache hairs will then fall down the drain instead of in my sink. So he likes to shave in the shower. So it was not even my shaver. So I grabbed the shaver, and I knock into the door. When I did that, my hand was like this, and I ran into myself. I stabbed myself in the chest. And then I went, oh my God, that hurts. And then, like, I was like, all right, whatever it is, it's not bothering me. So I need to hurry up and get this stuff out of my hair and wash my butt so I can get out of here. Because I just figured, you know, maybe it was Daisy knocking into the closet door in the bathroom. Because if you guys didn't know, in my linen closet is where I keep all my diamond paintings. Like, we're not going to go in there. I might have to do a store video, like, to show y'all what canvases I currently have at this point in time. Because it's been a year since I did the last one. So, and that's what I was waiting for. I was waiting for it to be a year before I did another one. Because there's no point in doing one, like, every 6 months. Because good God. Anyways, so I'm sitting there. And I start washing myself. And apparently I wasn't paying too much attention, because as I'm like soaping my butt, I somehow dropped this little loofah thing, and I just dead claw my whole ass. Just, y'all, it literally looks like somebody bit my butt. That's how hard and sharp those nails were. I immediately took them off. Mr. Coffee came home and I go, can you look at something real quick? And he's like, sure, what's wrong? I take him into the room. I pull my pants down and I go, look. And he goes, oh my God, what happened to your butt? Did the dog bite you? And I'm like, no, the nails. And he goes, the nails? I'm like, yeah, remember the fangs I had on before you left for work? And he's like, I thought for sure I would have been the victim of your nails. I'm like, yeah, me too. Apparently I was a victim. So I immediately took them off and I let Maggie pick out my new set, which is Coral Bloom. I love them a much. I love them a lot, a much. Wow, my brain is just like, pfft. So yeah, so after that little incident, I took the nails off. I have to admit, they're not my favorite. I don't like them. I do have another set of them, so I will probably do a giveaway to see if anybody else would like to try them. But they're not my favorite, so I probably won't be ordering that kind again. If I did, I will file them down. But I wanted to show them and like how they come to me. So when I'm informing you guys of how these nails are, I want you guys to get the full scope of how easy it is to put them on straight out of the box. No filing, no extra work, just putting them on. So that, and I also asked, why do I change them so much? Just so I can show you guys the sets. The sets last about 2 weeks, and with the replacement glue that goes on the back of them, all you do is put that on your nail and then place the nail down. Boom. You can wear them another however long, as long as the nail polish isn't coming off. Because that was the other thing I noticed on that set, was the nail polish was coming off, and it was looking kind of weird. It looks like your skin whenever you get sunburnt. So I was like, no. So those are a no from me. So that's just my opinion. If you tried them and liked them, have at it. But they weren't my favorite. So yeah, so Maggie picked out my new ones, which I believe is called Coral Bloom. And obviously, if you just type in Coral Bloom in the search bar on the website, if you're interested in getting them, they should pop up. So yeah, so that was our weekend. We woke up hella late this morning. I was supposed to have Maggie in class at 8:15. I woke up at 9:20. So we did mad dash. I did find out, though, that Maggie didn't need summer schooling after all. So real quick, long story short, I have been hindering Maggie's learning process because I have been coddling her, I guess is a good word. By coddling, I mean, whenever she struggles, I'm quick to give her the answer so that she doesn't struggle and get frustrated. And so her teacher wanted to see where her reading level was at this morning. So she had her do a little assessment with her and then read a book with her. And then she called me in about 30 minutes later and she goes, Miss Tepper, what was your major concerns with Maggie's reading? And I'm like, well, she can't read good. Like, she struggles a lot. And she goes, what kind of books is she reading? And I'm showing her the books, and she goes, does she have any books that are a little bit more advanced than that? And I'm like, well, yeah, but they're too hard for her. And her teacher's like, Miss Tepper, if you don't challenge her, she will never learn. She goes, her reading these baby books isn't helping her at all. She needs to be reading more advanced reading materials. And I never thought about that. And I was just like, oh my God, I didn't even think about that. So I've been having Maggie read all these little baby books with 2 and 3 words on the page when she should have been reading bigger books. Apparently, Maggie sat there. She aced her 2nd grade reading evaluation. Did just fine. Her teacher said, if anything, she just lacks a little bit of confidence when she reads. She goes, other than that, she reads perfectly fine. And she actually does a lot better with the bigger words than she does with the smaller words. So she goes, I don't think you'll have a problem with Maggie in 2nd grade. She goes, so I'm just going to pass her. You guys don't really have to come back for class for the rest of the week because we're supposed to be turning the laptops in on Thursday anyways. So she goes, you guys don't really have to come back, but I would like to do private sessions with just her and I for like the rest of the week, if you don't mind, right after class. I'm going to sit down with her for about 30 minutes and have her read books to me. And Maggie's like, oh, mommy, can I? Now I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I ask you to read books to me all the time, chick, and you be telling me no. But your teacher asks you and you're like, oh, yes, please, let me read some more. So I was like, you know what? That's great. I will work with that. I'm like, I'm so sorry we were late this morning. I overslept. Somehow I slept through 7 alarms going off. Again, I didn't get to bed till 3 a.m. So yeah, that's probably why. And I was just like, I will make sure she's on time tomorrow. I do apologize. And she's like, no worries. The morning meetings is just a check-in, so I know that everybody's up and getting ready to do their work, but they have all day to do it, so it doesn't really matter. And I'm like, again, you wait until the last minute to tell me that. Anyways, that's it for me, folks. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave those down in the comment section below. If you've made it this far in the video, put a little rainbow in the comment section. If you can't figure out how to put a rainbow in the comment section, just do a little emoji of some sort. I don't know. Either way, thank you guys so much for watching. And with that said, I now must bid you adieu. But not before reminding you, like I always try to, be kind, be courteous, be cool. Bye, guys.